How I learned to destroy writer's block. I think my job has always been to figure out how to get past the creative roadblocks of basically how to get the most creativity out of individuals. I know that sometimes you are trying to figure out all the smoothest ways to get the most creativity out of you. That's the key to the universe, is figure out how to get most creativity actually out of you, not just in your brain, swirling around like fairy dust. I'm going to tell a little story that's going to lead you to understand how this came to be. So a lot of people start off creating music in a way that it would seem that there aren't any roadblocks in the way. I wouldn't think so. When I grew up playing music, we'd just be in the garage. I'd be playing drums, playing with my friends, learning how to play other people's songs just for the love of creating music. You know what that's like. You probably did the same thing, or you sort of have had the love of music be something that was the thing that was driving you. Okay. And so I was somebody that was playing music through middle school and high school, and I went to college, met one of my friends, and we started making music together, and everything was flowing. In recording studios at school, we moved in with each other. We're just creating and creating and creating. And actually by doing that, our band started to take off and we got signed by a label. We were touring all around. But when we were in the middle of touring, what happened was our manager passed away. He got leukemia and passed away like in 4 months, right in the middle after we got signed. Okay. And so everything was going well, but then this humongous thing happened and sort of totally derailed us. And we ended up in a situation where we were signed to a label, but we couldn't put our music out because the label was not loving the music. So what we did was we went back to the drawing table and we just kept creating and kept trying new things and trying new things and trying new things and bringing it back to the label. But the label was like, nope, not feeling it. Still not going to put your music out. And let me explain to you, when it comes to like, if you ever decide to take your music and go into like into the music biz, into the professional world of the music biz, what happens is people give you money. Okay. And then they expect something that they're going to be able to take and put even more money into and let everybody hear about it. This is sort of, the world is changing dramatically right now with this. But when you take the business end of things and you mix it with creativity, it can really screw things up. And so if you're not even in that world and you're just on your own creating and trying to get through roadblocks, I'm going to give you tools that work for both of these things. I think it works for both of these things. And so with this whole situation that I was in, me and my bandmate with our band Midi Matilda that we were in with a label was really, really challenging for us because we were just trying to tap into that feeling of creativity. But when you have something on the other side of it, a thought, right? It's always thoughts that are getting in the way of your being the most creative version of you. It's honestly sort of this thing when you can tap into not thinking about things that you are going to find the most incredible version of you. And honestly, this may sound funny, but it was my love of music and starting to understand the concept of the underlick, right? The underlick is an underlying melody that lives beneath the singing voice. That was an unlock for me. And it's been an unlock for many individuals because when you're writing songs, this is sort of like writer's block when it comes to writing songs. Again, the key is to get out of your own thoughts. When you have your own thoughts in the way of things, you can never create the most magical stuff. The key is to sort of, how do you not think about things? And so to not think about things, you need help. You're going to get that help through inspiration that you had in the past. And so the way to do that is with the underlick. The underlick is basically a melody that can stand on its own and can get out of the way so that you can sit down with your friends or just by yourself, and it can allow you to just sort of emote. And sometimes one of the things that I love to do is actually find being with other people in the room and having conversations and connecting with other people can actually be the most powerful way to get out of your own way and to just have fun. It's like when it comes to making stuff, I think creativity in general is all about how do you get out of your own way, like I said before, and being with other people that are in it to win it with you. And when I say win it, I mean find something that you guys are both in love with. That's the best thing in the world. You can just hang out with somebody. If you don't have too much of a, let's say, idea of what is supposed to happen and you just let it unfold, it can be a beautiful thing. And so the concept of the underlick was something that once I discovered that, I started to bring that to all the different sessions that I would have, because sometimes you'd end up in a space where people don't know exactly what we're supposed to create. And when you have a structured way of creating in a regular way, when you're just creating consistently with somebody else and you use the underlick as a way to sort of having a jumping off point versus grabbing random instruments and doing things, it can be an easy way to always tap into the thing that is really powerful, which is just writing a song with somebody else or by yourself if you're feeling it, right? The key is to find yourself on the flow. And so it was basically the biggest unlock that sort of unlocked the ability just to not need to make something, because if you have a melody that can sit on its own and sort of keep you inspired while you can talk with a friend and you can just land on random things, it will allow you to just find the magic much more easily and not have to overthink about it, right? You can just sort of allow the music to start to take you on a ride and then just talk with somebody and find common ground with them and then just sing it out loud. I know that may sound overly simplistic, but that is truly the biggest key unlock that many people have figured out, that if you have music that can stand on its own, it can now allow you to tap into what you're feeling and to relate to somebody else without overthinking about the production. A lot of people get really wrapped up in the music production of things, but if you can just sort of lean back into it and have a melody that stands on its own, it works every single time. And so once I started implementing this with songwriting sessions, it just sort of made everything easy. And it's the only way that I work now, because once you do that, it can allow this natural flow to happen and allow you to sort of just become somebody that habitually is outputting ideas. And that's really the key, is to be doing stuff on a regular basis. The habit of just continually creating, like I'm doing right now. This is sort of a new thing for me, talking to the camera and pulling this off. But it's the same thing. Once you can do it in such a regular way, there's this great quote from Ed Sheeran, and he says, you need to let the water run dirty out of the faucet. You got to let that water run dirty. And once you let that water run dirty long enough, it'll eventually start to be clean water. And there will be some dirt in it still, but it'll also run clean. And so the more that you're just creating in a regular way, consistently letting it flow, it will allow you to break through that. And so once I cracked that unlock for myself, it's been an unlock for many, many people. When you can find that way to connect in with something that works for you consistently, you have a workflow. It doesn't have to be random. Like, things don't have to be so random. When it comes to music, people like to get so random with everything. It doesn't need to be like that. You can have frameworks, you can have formulas that you can be extremely creative in. And I think creativity actually comes from constraints. Constraints is what allows creativity to happen. If you're sitting in a room and you have no tools with you, it's just a white room and just you sitting there with a camera, you have to come up with something. You have to use what's right in front of you within your imagination to do something that's interesting. Most people just have too many tools in front of them to be able to jump around and do all this different stuff. The key is to focus it on a process that allows you to consistently tap into the magic that is you. Comment below anything that you have that you think is awesome and any tools that you have. But for me, and I think for you too, the underlick is legend. The underlick is the best key for breaking through creative roadblocks, to be able to tap into the magic that is within you. Talk to you soon.